All right, friends, it has been a very, very long while since Power League Bible study, but it's back, and today's topic is our value. All right, I want to overview this by saying that the world and people around you will assign you value by your achievements, your looks, what you do, how you do it, things like that. But in fact, according to the Bible, we have value. We have very specific value because we were created by God and in His image. So, I say we get into this. Always remember Christ is King. Let's do it. So a very important thing to note is that the idea of humans being valuable simply because they're humans is not a new concept. Let's look at this. In Genesis, the very first book of the Bible, actually, Genesis 1:26 says, "Then God said, 'Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground.'" And then 1:27 says, "So God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God He created them, male and female He created them." And the first part of verse 28 said, "God blessed them." So God made humans for authority. In order, God made humans for intimacy and relationship with Him. And also, we see in 1:26, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea, birds in the sky, livestock, and wild animals. So, first and most importantly, we were created for God. We were created to be in relationship with Him. And nothing can take that value away from us. We see that principle in Matthew 18:10 through 12. This is Jesus talking, and Matthew 18:10 says, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." Then it says, "What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep, and one of them wanders away, will he not leave his 99 on the hills and go to look for that one wandered off? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he is happier about one sheep than about the 99 that did not wander off. In the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should perish." So that was actually through verse 14. But that shows how much value we have to God. Because we were created by Him, and because He loves us, this shows that He values us. And we see that in the analogy of the shepherd who goes off to find and rescue his sheep from danger. And then verse 14 says, "In the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should perish." So He goes after and runs after His children. And He had actually said pretty much the exact same thing just a couple verses before in 18:6, saying, "If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea." Okay, this shows that God and Jesus, they're very serious about the little ones, or those who believe in Him. So God is very, very serious about His children and does not want them harmed in any way. The next instance we see that is a complete summary of Jesus' life. In Romans 5:8, it says, "But God demonstrates His own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." This completely proves that we don't need to be good enough or perfect or are completely flawless for God, because it said, while we were still sinners. This means that we were still walking away from Jesus at this point. We're still walking away from the free gift of salvation that he gives us. And not only was it while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Christ sacrificed his life, and he gave himself up so that we would be saved. But even more amazing than Christ dying and sacrificing himself for us, we see in Matthew 28, 5 and 6 says, "The angel said to the women, 'Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified.'" Verse 6, "He is not here. He is risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay." So basically, this is right after Jesus was crucified, then buried. And so this is 3 days after, and 3 women were going to put spices on Jesus' body to keep it from rotting. That was just a customary thing to do with corpses. And so what they did, or they went there, but what they found was an angel, not Jesus, not Jesus' body. And so the angel told them, don't look here. Jesus had prophesied so many times that he would be raised from the dead. And we see this prediction in Matthew 17, verses 22 and 23. This is Jesus traveling with his disciples, his followers, and here's how it plays out. "When they came together in Galilee, he," meaning Jesus, "said to them, 'The Son of Man,'" Jesus, "is going to be delivered into the hands of men. They will kill him, and on the 3rd day he will be raised to life." So he had already told the disciples that he would be crucified and that he would be raised once again on the 3rd day. And so this is exactly what happened in Matthew 28, 5 and 6, when the women went to the tomb. And so all that to say, our value does not lie in our works and what we do. And we see that because while we were still sinners, Jesus died and rose again for us as our Savior. And all we have to do, according to Romans 10:9 and Ephesians 2:8 and 9, is we have to profess our faith in Jesus Christ and believe in our heart that he is Lord, that he is mighty to save, and that he truly can bring salvation. And so that will about wrap it up. But our final little thing is that God created us with value right off the bat. And he loves us so much that he would literally die for us. He literally did. So we should treat others with value as well. Thanks for watching. Christ is King. Maybe another Power League Bible study coming fairly soon. We'll find out. See you guys later. Christ is King.